The following session is a raw recording of a very happy session that Anukul and I recently took from Pakhi, who happens to be a therapist.
Just like everyone, the crippling anxiety that comes by staying in the lockdown got to us as well. This call really helped us in getting some answers to tackle few of our problems. And we just hope that some of these answers help you ease a little bit and maybe unlock a few barriers for yourself.
Right, and if not, I hope it changes your perspective about therapy in general and motivates you to take up a session for yourself for the different problems that you must be facing.
Our guest for this episode is Pakhi Jain. She holds a master's degree in psychology and is a certified hypnotherapist and a cognitive behavioral therapy practitioner. Now, what's interesting about Pakhi is that she believes that words can hold a very strong impact on a person's psyche, and that's the core value of most of her practice. She also believes in finding practical solutions to all problems, and to all the introverts' respite, she actually specializes in social life issues and personal traits. Here's our conversation with Pakhi. Enjoy.
कोरोना वायरस या कोविड-19 से आज पूरा देश लड़ रहा है, पर याद रहे हमें बीमारी से लड़ना है, बीमार से नहीं, उनसे।
So, what are the kind of problems that your clients are coming up with?
Yes. So, during this pandemic, it's not only the problem that people are facing, like, for example, the virus that people are uncertain about, but there are so many issues that have sprung up because of this lockdown. Some of major issues that my clients are facing nowadays and complaining about is the lack of energy that they are facing, the lethargy, the lack of motivation to do anything. People do not feel like getting up from the bed. So, according to dictionary or psychology, someone might term it as depression, but I would like to tell everyone that this is exactly not a depressive point. It is just the lack of schedule people are not able to follow, because there is no urgency to do anything. There is no hustle bustle to get to. So that is the reason people do not feel the need to be always alert or on their toes. That is the reason the body has slowed itself down and there is a lack of energy. Also, Anukul and Vijay, I would like to say that there are some kind of anxieties that people are facing right now in terms of the current situation, that how are they going to deal with it. I mean, people are saying that this particular virus is really harmful to people who have low immunity, है ना? There are
Right.
some talking about कि नहीं आप mask पहन के जाओ. Some are talking about that there should be social distancing. There are endless amount of things in the market. Might it be vitamin C, D, whatsoever that you take. If you take them, it is good for health. तो इस तरीके की एंग्जाइटी people really do not know what is the correct measure to be taken care, so that this virus should not affect them. Another anxiety that most of the people are having is the anxiety of the future, like because they already had planned their entire year, probably they wanted to go abroad for their studies. Probably they had to start with some kind of a diploma course or a degree course. So everything now is so uncertain. They do not know if the classes will be taken online, if they will be able to travel outside, when will this pandemic end. So unke plans ek tarike se have gone haywire and people are extremely anxious about it. Another one more issue that most of my clients are facing is the lack of privacy, because people have created their own independent lives around them, and now they during lockdown they are with their families, which is obviously a very very good thing. But although there were some issues that every family used to have, that used to be brushed under the carpet. Now, because of being in the lockdown, everyone has to face those under the carpet issues. and
Right.
probably they were not ready about it, है ना? Also they were facing some previous insecurities before this pandemic even started, and now because of this lockdown these insecurities have highlighted a lot. Might it be insecurity about the identity in the society, might it be the confidence issues, might it be not being accepted, anything for that matter. There are endless amount of insecurities people are facing, and that has created a lot of anxiety within people, that now what to do about it, because they do have time to think about it, and overthinking is a major issue.
Right.
So these are few things that my clients were complaining about recently.
In fact, for everything that you said, it has actually happened to me, especially in the first 2 months of the lockdown. I was planning to do some courses for my, like, I wanted to do some yoga courses, and even the way my dance classes were going on.
Right,
And
right,
s- all of that was interrupted. I had some other plans for my career as well, and in terms of work as well, and they all
right,
got interrupted.
right.
um, I went ahead with a few of them, and I did not go ahead with a few more, because again, according to the year and how I had planned to sort of achieve those targets,
Right.
now I don't know. I don't know if I'll be able to get them or not, because I can't go for classes now. And even though I have access to some online classes, but in the end, they are actually making me feel more bad that I'm not able to go out, and there are a few things that I'm not able to do.
Correct,
So
correct,
उसका अलग से एंजाइटी आ रहा है,
correct,
एंड मतलब rather than actually sort of it's actually exacerbating the issue even more for me, the
correct,
online classes and all the online seminars and everything, because it is making me yearn for that even more rather than sort of pacifying
Yeah.
me.
correct,
So
correct, right.
with the thing about putting things under the rug. So even what happened with my in my family was कि my mother was the only one who was staying in the house.
Right,
We are all working. I still had the option of working remotely, so I used to stay in house some
right,
on some days.
right.
But again, like we are all so used to having our own space. We all have separate rooms in our house, and like the only time we interacted was only during dinner, because even वो breakfast and lunch कुछ भी साथ में नहीं होता था as such.
Right,
So there were a lot of issues that even with the house ki very small issues ki washing machine ka repair and all that stuff which we were procrastinating. अब धीरे धीरे, since we were in that captivity together, and वो survival mode में आ गई थी पूरी family ही, and at the end family तो family है, they have to focus everything, they have to like face everything together. So
right,
suddenly एक वो था कि वो जितने भी issues और problems जिनको हम blind side करते हुए जा रहे थे, वो suddenly ऐसा लग रहा था मिरर की तरह ऐसे सामने आई जा रही हैं चीज़ें एक एक करके.
right, right.
And like it's the first time I even saw my parents struggling with their mental health. Usually they put up a very strong front on things,
Right,
but
right,
like I saw my father's anxiety for the very first time, in the sense that he was really afraid of how he'll be able to manage this, or there was a time when he had an uncertainty ki whether he'll be able to survive this or not.
absolutely,
तो
Right.
absolutely.
मतलब it was like कि हाँ, even my like all the areas जिसमें I was being a little incompetent अपनी family को लेके भी, वो सब
Right,
भी मेरे को ऐसे reflect ऐसे सामने दिख रहा था.
right,
तो
right, right,
मतलब एंड आसपास में तो किसी को हुआ भी नहीं था उस टाइम पे कोविड.
right.
And everywhere almost everyone was talking about the how we are still privileged कि we have a roof over our head and everything. So उस
Right,
पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम पे एक महीना तो अपनी प्रॉब्लम्स आइडेंटिफाई करने में ही लग गया था कि
absolutely.
मतलब हाँ, इवन दो रूफ है घर पे, बट अंदर ही अंदर इश्यूज हैं थोड़े जिनकी वजह से मशीनरी सही से नहीं चल पा रही है अभी घर की भी.
Absolutely,
सो
absolutely.
वो मतलब हाँ, एंड आई थिंक द मोमेंट वी एक्नॉलेज्ड इट गॉट अ लिटिल बेटर. बट लाइक
Right.
व्हेन यू डील विद पीपल जो आते हैं इन प्रॉब्लम्स के साथ, तो व्हाट डू यू
Right.
टेल देम, बिकॉज वो अनसर्टेनिटी वाली चीज़ तो अभी भी है, एंड
Correct,
वी आर
correct.
नॉट गेटिंग ओवर दैट फैक्ट. एंड लाइक हाउ डू यू sort of motivate them in general कि how to go about it.
Right. Yes, of course, Anukul, जो तुमने problems बताई हैं, these all have a base of uncertainty, and when uncertainty comes knocking, and the problem is that you really do not have anything under control, right? So then, at that point of time, all of your defense mechanisms come to the rescue, like distraction, grounding, thought challenge, self-love, accessing your higher self. You know, these defense mechanisms comes to your rescue. But आजकल एक problem ये भी आ रही है that at one point of time you really do not know that which defense mechanism could be applied so that you could get an answer for the real
Right.
problem. So
True,
I
true,
would
true.
suggest that rather than getting so complicated, how about we do one practical thing, that we could give a shape, size, color, and smell to that uncertainty, whatever problem we are facing. So we could
Oh,
give a shape, size, color, and smell to it. So once a figure is formed, it is easier to deal with it. For example, like we really do not know how gods must have looked, right? Yet
yeah,
we give them a figure. So whenever there is
yeah.
a problem, whenever there is an unanswered question that we have, we approach the figure itself, we ask the problem, and it helps us to calm down. It is not necessarily the problem gets solved, but at least we get calmed down. We know how that it will be dealt later on. So in the similar manner, if at all this uncertainty, whatever you are having, whatever issues that you just stated, Anukul, if you give them a specific figure, it will be easier for you to deal with. I'm pretty sure you must have seen Harry Potter, जिसके अंदर that black ball, they used to give a shape to their fear. So when they
Bogart.
The
used to
prophecies.
Yeah.
right, so when
Yeah.
they used to give a shape to the fear, so now you know how it looks, how it smells, how it feels, so you can deal with
Yeah.
that very easily. So that helps you to calm down the situation, because anyhow you have no solution to this pandemic, you do not have a solution to whatever issues that you were facing right away, but it will help you calm down the anxiety actually.
डिफेंस अगेंस्ट डार्क आर्ट्स क्लास लेनी पड़ेगी मतलब
हाँ,
लाइफ के लिए.
अब बस ridiculous बोलना है wand घुमा के.
पितृदेव संरक्षणम फॉर द
Right.
मेंटल हेल्थ डिमेंटर्स एक्चुअली.
Good, yes.
So, Pakiti, what Anukul said, even I had a lot of things lined up for this year.
Right,
There was an exam that I've been
right.
preparing for a really long time, and 2020 was supposed to be the year to bear fruits of that mehnat. But then everything is postponed indefinitely. My father also
Oh,
tested
okay.
positive for COVID, and he stayed in the COVID quarantine treatment center for a while till he tested
Oh,
negative.
okay.
And now he's
Okay.
thankfully healthy and back at home, and everyone's
Great.
safe and tested negative. I have grandparents living with me, and my mother is also dealing with underlying health conditions.
Okay.
And I remember the 2 days in which we were waiting for our results after my father had tested positive, which were kind of a living hell in which I had imagined all possible wrong things happening. So, with so many problems getting piled up, I have this overwhelming feeling that I've been helplessly cheated and robbed of opportunities, and this feeling has just stayed along, and it's become very difficult to function normally and to find a routine in this whole scenario where I can just go about normally living
Right.
my life while being aware of whatever is going outside. And I don't know, I've lost touch of what normal is and how to live normally, basically. I don't have any idea about it.
Right. Right. For that matter, VJ, normally, term itself, this normal word has no definition. Today, if you want to define this term, you might not be able to define it, right? So this terminology should be defined according to whatever environment that you're facing. This particular definition should be always
Right.
dynamic. It should not be static. So whenever you define this normal term, हो सकता है पैंडमिक से पहले आपने कुछ और डिफाइन कर रखा हो कि देखो मेरी लाइफ नॉर्मल जा रही है, आई एम फाइन, सो यू मस्ट हैव डिफाइंड इट डिफरेंटली. नाउ यू डू हैव टू डिफाइन इट अगेन. एंड देन यू हैव टू, देन यू विल बी एबल टू सी कि मैं कहाँ कहाँ डाइवर्ट हो रही हूँ अकॉर्डिंग टू दिस डेफिनेशन. दिस इज वॉट आई वॉन्ट. गोल विल बी डिफाइंड अकॉर्डिंग टू द डेफिनेशन, एंड देन you can make one change at a time. Because right now people are saying कि हम नॉर्मल नहीं हो पा रहे हैं, वी आर नॉट एबल टू गो बाय द स्केड्यूल, और जैसे हम पहले थे वैसे नहीं हो पा रहे हैं. दिस इज़ अ वेरी कॉमन लाइन दैट आई एम हियरिंग अ लॉट. सो आई एम आस्किंग देम, पहले कैसे थे? पहले तो ये तो लिखो पहले कैसे थे, और क्या तुम्हारे पास पहले वाले जितने रिसोर्सेज थे, जो तुम्हारे पास लिबर्टी थी, जो तुम्हारे पास एनवायरनमेंट था, इज इट एग्जैक्टली द सेम राइट नाउ? आर यू लिविंग इन द सेम सराउंडिंग्स? सो ऑब्वियसली द आंसर इज नो. सो दैट मीन्स you will have to change the definition of being normal. So define it again. And when you define it again, you will have a goal very clearly set in front of you. And जैसे हम short term goals को complete करते हैं, same उसी तरीके से you can complete this also. Take one step at a time then.
बट बाकी दी कई बार ऐसा भी होता है ना कि जैसे लोग लॉकडाउन से पहले भी, जो आपने पूछा ना कि पहले कैसे थे, तो पहले भी खुश नहीं थे.
Right.
और इसीलिए सोचा
Right,
कि अगले
right.
3-4 महीनों में कुछ ऐसा करेंगे हम, या फिर हमारे प्लान्स है कि नहीं, वो रियलाइजेशन है कि नहीं इसको ठीक करना है. बट देन अब सडनली हम पहले भी कुछ कर नहीं रहे थे वैसे, लेकिन अब सडनली एक ब्लेम देने पे के लिए भी आ गया कि नहीं अब लॉकडाउन है तो हम वैसे ही आधी चीज़ें नहीं कर पा रहे, तो नहीं हो सकता. सो
Right, right.
so like again this is something जो do you think कि this is also because chronically it was there even before the lockdown and that's why people are finding it difficult to function now कि हाँ now there is a constraint so it's getting even more difficult, or is it just कि it's very normal to feel this way
Right.
even क्योंकि because of the lockdown?
See, Anukul, what you're pointing out to is known as inefficiency or the insecurity that every person has. Like every person knows that where are they standing in the world, what are they currently doing. लॉकडाउन से पहले बस ये था, देयर वर लॉट ऑफ डिस्ट्रैक्शंस फॉर देम टू कीप देम अंडर द कारपेट एंड नॉट सी द मिरर. सो दे वर लाइक कि कोई नहीं, मैं ना फॉर एग्जाम्पल वेट लॉस करना था, तो मैं वेट लॉस इसलिए नहीं कर पा रहा बिकॉज आई हैव दिस काइंड ऑफ अ स्केड्यूल एंड आई कांट हेल्प अबाउट इट. बट नाउ बिकॉज ऑफ लॉकडाउन ऑल दोज डिस्ट्रैक्शंस हैव गॉन अवे, एंड वॉट यू हैव टू फेस इज ओनली द इनसिक्योरिटी. So that is the reason it has been aggravated. It is not something that अब तुम ज़्यादा inefficient हो गए हो या अब जाकर ये problems आ गई हैं. This was always there with you and you knew it. पहले से ही you knew it. It's just that now, obviously now lack of resources are also there, and there is a lot of time of overthinking also. People are unable to now make a productive solution to it. So I would like to say that it's a reality check for you guys, and everyone should note down their insecurities, and probably when the world will start running, then and you will be able to have access towards the resources or the outside world, then I think the insecurities should be dealt with. It's high time then.
And what about the people who are actually, they are taking actions and they are noting it down, but then they are having more anxiety because of the guilt ki now we don't have the distractions and even then we are not able to focus, we are not good for anything. So like what would we say to them?
हाँ, दैट्स बिकॉज अनुकुल राइट नाउ यू डोंट हैव द रिसोर्सेज ना यार. आपके पास अगर टाइम भी है अभी करेंटली और आपने बैठ के जॉट डाउन भी कर लिया, सब कुछ कर लिया, बट दुनिया तो नहीं चल रही ना, वो तो थोड़ा स्टैंड स्टिल पे बैठी हुई है और रिसोर्सेज भी नहीं है, कुछ भी नहीं है आपके पास. वो तो लॉकडाउन का फर्स्ट मंथ यू वुड हैव सीन दैट द सोशल मीडिया वाज like blooming with different ideas, creative ideas. People were so happy, they were doing that. So वो हो गया, जो honeymoon period था, that's over, and as in a relationship now you have to deal with all these things. So that is the reason लोगों को समझ ही नहीं आ रहा ये क्या हुआ उनके साथ. So but there will be a breakup point for sure, and And that's actually the next issue that my some of my clients are facing. वो ये है कि although the lockdown has lifted up, most of the lockdown has lifted up, so now people want to go out, and they really do not know how to go about it. So this is like the breakup of the relationship.
Right.
अब आपको breakup करना है और किसी से ब्रेकअप करते हो तो ऑब्वियसली इट्स नॉट गोइंग टू बी वेरी म्यूचुअल. बहुत ही रेयरेस्ट ऑफ द टाइम्स होगा when people might have a mutual breakup, but it has to be ugly. So people, in the similar manner here, people have to make an extra effort to come out of their comfort zone, go out, socialize in the sense like having extreme precautions, and then socialize or get back to work, for that matter, going to offices, or going back to the way that before the pandemic was. So this breaking up point is going to be ugly. Like people should not think that it should be very easy. People are having anxiety, people are feeling ki I don't feel like going out. Is it because now I have become less ambitious? So it's not because they have become less ambitious, it's just that there was a comfort zone that was made. Like in a relationship that you create as comfort zone, the importance of the person is always there, and when the person goes away, there always has to be a void in your life. In the similar manner, abhi tak aapne jo schedule banaya hua tha staying at home, obviously that has to be disrupted. You have to come out of it, and your schedule will change. So it is going to be ugly. You might have some sleepless nights, you might have some anxiety, but that is not going to last long. You just have to cut through it.
So
Right.
talking about the breakup, and I'm not gonna talk about my own relationship,
Right.
though even though I'm very tempted to.
उससे previous traumas याद आ गए, but
No,
हाँ,
no.
हाँ,
So,
हाँ.
as a civil services aspirant, self-isolation is not new for me. And so when the
Right, right.
first lockdown was announced, all my friends, including me, was joking about how nothing has changed for me. But actually, the mental battles fought in terms of recovery were very challenging in that sense
हाँ,
also.
हाँ.
So, went through a phase of social anxiety and a degradation of social skills in general when I started meeting my friends again after staying at home for a very long time. And I felt anxious in their company also, even though I had wished to hang out with them for so long. Which is why I want to talk about the recovery from the
Right.
lockdown. How a lot of people are finally getting out of their homes after months. How should they go about it? What are some of the practical solutions they could inculcate to be a little better equipped?
Right, right, right. पहला तो the first and foremost that I think every neta is also now following is the hygiene thing, and this pandemic has taught us only about that. And I feel that
Yeah.
this practice should never be unfollowed. Obviously, it's such a common thing, be very hygienic. And but now when you have to go back into the world, you have to be a little tad bit extra hygiene. There should be a little bit of extra hygiene that you should follow before and after meeting someone. For example, sanitizing, for example, mask and social distancing, and a little bit of vitamins and immunity power boosters that you might have to take. Other than that, if you talk about the comfort zone that you have to come out of it, I really feel that you guys should be first aware of what have you
Right.
created around yourself at this point of time. The kind of schedule that you are in, you should be aware of it. You should be aware of if at all there is any comfort area. Like for example, some people say ki nahi, sham ke 4 baje is like my tea time, and it has been for 3 months up till now, and you used to enjoy it, है ना? So all these things should be circled out red pen से कि हाँ ये चीज़ें तो मुझे अब बहुत ही पसंद है, and I cannot live without these things. So you should be aware of it. Then you have to compare it with the zone that was before the pandemic. What kind of schedule did you used to follow at that point of time? So then you have to compare both the lists कि ये वाला schedule अब था, ये वाला schedule पीछे है, and make a new list. कि अब हाँ इन दोनों को मैं एक साथ रखकर what is the new schedule that I could follow where I could inculcate some things which I have started liking now and certain things that I used to do before also. So a new list will help you to get back on track and have a clear mindset how to move forward with going back into the world.
It's too much of a reality check to go
Right.
through this, I feel.
मुझे तो शर्म ही आ जाएगी मैं पहले भी निकम्मा था मैं बाद में भी निकम्मा हूँ
This is too much reality check. Actually, many of my clients say कि Pakhi, you make us write down a lot of things, and this creates a lot of anxiety. So I tell them that actually आपको जो anxiety हो रही है, that's a subliminal anxiety that has been going around in your body any which ways. मतलब आपको दिखती नहीं है, but when it gets piled up, then you become extremely anxious. तो ऐसा नहीं है कि आज आप anxious नहीं हो, आप constantly anxious हो किसी ना किसी बात को लेकर. So when you write that down, when the
Right.
things are in front of you, तो it just gives you a reality check, but at least it is out of your mind. You don't have to constantly remember it. तो आपको एंजाइटी उसको देखने के बाद जितनी होगी वो कम होगी rather than जो जितनी दिमाग में आपके चल रही है. So it actually gives you less anxiety. Definitely it gives you less anxiety other than what you guys are having right now.
This question is actually from most of our artist friends, Abhi. So it's very specific in general. But there is this tussle that they all are feeling as to, because again, even with their creative ventures, they had a lot of goals. But in general, there was still a freedom in their mind pehle. But now with COVID and the lockdown situation, and everyone trying to make ends meet as well, a lot of them, they want to think about sort of safeguarding themselves materially, or in terms of materialistic things in general, जो कि पहले भी था, but now since the avenues are closing, it's getting even more difficult for them. And for a lot of artists, it's creating a lot of anxiety, because then they're not able to focus on their work as well, or think as freely as they could. So what would you probably tell them at this point of time, and how to power through this?
Right.
And there's also this aspect of comparison where they're seeing everyone being productive on social media and they're constantly comparing themselves and feeling pressurized at the same time because of it.
True.
Right. एक तो पहली बात तो economy definitely has been hit because of this pandemic, and people are trying to make their meets end, and they are desperate to do anything right now to somehow make money. तो तभी there are so many offices that have been opened up, and people are playing with their healths and going out in the office just to have some money. So this, I feel this is just the mentality of India. जैसे इंडिया ना is आप बाहर कहीं भी देखोगे, people in terms of pandemic, they know what is the meaning of lockdown, whereas in India they really do not know what lockdown means. Earthquake आए, cyclone आए, बारिशें हो, जो मर्जी हो, उनको अपने दुकान पे बैठना है या उनको काम पे ज़रूर जाना है. Unless and until it's like वो क्या नाम है आपका, अगर आप जॉब करते हो तो ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा ऑफिसेज ने बोल दिया कि अच्छा ठीक है वर्क फ्रॉम होम कर लो. बट इफ समवन इज़ एन एंटरप्रेन्योर और स्मॉल बिजनेसेस, दे आर गोइंग आउट, बिकॉज इंडिया के लिए सबको लगता है, इंडियन पीपल फील दैट हमको सब हजम हो जाता है, तो वो कुछ भी होगा हम हजम कर लेंगे और इसमें से बाहर निकल आएंगे. सो कहीं पे अनुकूल, जैसे तुम कह रहे हो कि क्रिएटिव ब्लॉक भी आ जाता है, या कई लोगों को है ना, तो वो क्रिएटिव ब्लॉक इसीलिए आता है बिकॉज उनको इस चीज़ की एंग्जाइटी नहीं है कि वो कुछ कर पाएंगे. उनको एंग्जाइटी ये हो रही है कि क्या ये चीज़ जो हम बनाएंगे बाहर बिकेगा या नहीं बिकेगा. Because currently उनको इस like they really do not have any issue. मतलब अगर वो ध्यान से सोचें तो they really do not have any doubts on their own capabilities for that matter. क्योंकि कैपेबिलिटीज कहाँ गई, वो तो वही है ना. आपको अगर आप पेंटर हो तो आपने पेंटिंग जितनी सीखी थी वो आज भी उतनी ही है, स्किल्स उतने ही है. बस एक जो क्रिएटिव ब्लॉक, जो एक टर्मिनोलॉजी यूज हो रही है, वो क्रिएटिव ब्लॉक आजकल इज नॉट यूज्ड फॉर
Right.
योर ओन सेल्फ, इट इज यूज्ड दैट हाउ इट शुड बी मार्केटेड इन द सोसाइटी सो दैट पीपल कुड बाय इट. इवन इफ यू हैव क्रिएटेड अ मास्टरपीस और अगर लोगों ने नहीं बाय किया तो यू वुड से ओहो मेरे ना अब क्रिएटिविटी खत्म हो गई है. So they should first test their own skills, they should work upon their own previous skills. उनके पास अगर कोई theoretical material पड़ा है, work upon it so that they could gain some
Right.
confidence, and then they should work upon it. Do not worry about would it be sold in the market or not. Just keep doing. Just keep doing whatever you have been doing up till now, and definitely it will be accepted in the society one day or the other. अभी हो सकता है नहीं हो पाए, but in the few coming out months it will definitely be.
पहले ही कर लेना चाहिए था ये थेरेपी सेशन दी के साथ, मुझे लगता
अब
है.
दीदी को लगेगा कि लॉकडाउन वाज जस्ट एन एक्सक्यूज, दे वांटेड एन इवैल्यूएशन.
सही में अपनी लाइफ का.
हाँ अब
नहीं, I am pretty sure that you must be doing great, and it's just that few changes that you can apply in your life. Then जितना डायनामिक रखोगे अपनी लाइफ को तो उतना इंटरेस्टिंग रहेगी और उतना ही मोटिवेटेड रहोगे.
Thank you, Dee.
Right.
Thank you so much for this therapy session.
थैंक यू दी. नहीं थैंक यू मतलब थैंक यू
You're
सो
welcome.
मच बिकॉज लाइक
सही में.
in general I don't know if you get it from our tone or not, but coming into the call we were really gloomy, like मेरे पीछे dark clouds थे. And because in generally there is so much fear with this the COVID-19 situation,
Yeah,
and even
yeah.
घर में भी. And
Right.
again the thing that we didn't realize till now was कि these fears are also our own projections.
Right.
इतना
Right.
मे बी मतलब हम उसको थोड़ा ज़्यादा फॉर्म भी दे रहे हैं.
Right.
But yeah, thank you so much Dee.
Thank you,
I
Dee.
know,
सही में.
absolutely
I can't say anything other than thank you right now.
I really loved
and
talking to you. It was a good discussion, and सच में तुम लोगों के साथ बात करके there were so many questions that you guys put up with that I had to scratch my head and figure out an actual innovative way of coming out of it, because it's very difficult अगर theoretical हम बात करते रहे and there's no practical way to apply it, है ना? So even you guys helped me out figure out so many questions. So now I can apply that in therapy sessions.
Oh.
Thank you so
oh,
much.
thank you. Like validation
Another level actually.
infinity.
Great.
We are grateful to Pakhi Jain for taking out the time for this podcast and helping us find practical solutions to these very daunting problems.
Thank you so much for tuning into our episode. We're really looking forward for your recommendations and suggestions as well. And again, shout out to Dhananjay Khanna for being the most wonderful editor we have had.
@chalmeri dhanno नहीं बोला.
Oh, please follow him at @chalmeri dhanno.
चल खन्नो, आज तेरी पसंद की